So I read this great article recently. Who am I kidding? It was a TikTok. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up. It also was definitely not article caliber in length. I don't know why I said that. It's just a piece of information that has been on my mind. But it was from this girl, shout out Cool Machine 5000, for communicating the following to us all. Sometimes when she watches football, she uses it as a daydreaming time, where she's staring at the screen, but thinking about other things. Having a good time, no matter what, though. Very brave thing to say. A good joke. A great joke, even. As J. Cole said, all good jokes contain true stuff. And in fact, I'm Team Cool Machine 5000 here. I was thinking about that joke all through the games yesterday, all through Sunday's slate. I'm recording this midday Monday. And I know that might sound funny, kind of crazy, what have you, considering the fact that I am, if you watch my other content, like a football analyst. That's what I do on TikTok. I'm tweeting through the games, celebrating the communal experience that is watching football, the game on the field. But I mean, to the point of Miss Cool Machine 5000, I don't think that watching football necessarily has to be information gathering at every second. Whether or not you are a fan, an analyst, something in between. I don't really think that you do need to be paying attention to every small, minute detail, stat, play, red zone sequence. I mean, I know I'm not saying anything revelatory here, but you are allowed to have your mind wander. That's part of the experience. And I mean, fundamentally, that's because watching football is an experience. It is an adventure, a shared adventure experience, an enlightening act, I dare say, and a meditative act for quite literally everybody, because I think that just fundamentally a part of being human, experiencing anything, is that what you see on the field, in the world, is ultimately going to be a reflection of your inner turmoil. Whatever the games cause you to say or do or think is going to reflect that. As a Buddhist monk once said, if you are walking carrying coffee and somebody bumps you and you spilled the coffee, why did you spill it? Why did you spill the coffee? The incorrect answer here would be that you got bumped, and the correct answer here, the correct one to have, is that coffee is what you carried in the cup. That's what you were carrying. Life bumps you. Things beyond you bump you. And it is up to you. It is within you to decide what gets spilled. Holy essay, I'm sorry. All of this is to say that yesterday when I was watching football, watching Sunday's games, I spilled coffee. I spilled coffee while watching football. And the coffee that I spilled this past weekend, week 12 of the NFL season in particular, was in regards to self-doubt. That was the coffee of the week, and it's what I really want to talk about now. Now, I need to be clear here, though, it was not just self-doubt that was in the cup. It was coffee in regards to self-doubt, the concept of doubt, and my filled cup of anti-doubt sentiment. That was what was actually in here. Cup of anti-doubt sentiment. And that was because, this time I'm okay just saying outright, it was from TikTok. I had some incredibly meaningful words bouncing around in my head in my cup over the past couple of days from Harry Miller on TikTok. Former Ohio State football player Harry Miller. That's a part of his identity. That's not what I would really identify him as now. Now I would say that he is a writer, he is a communicator, he is an appreciator of life. I think that his work is great. There is no other way I can put it. That's the highest compliment I can really give it. He is a great thinker, and he produces great thoughts, great arguments that I find are always grounded in reality, in real appreciable things, and that I think is what makes them so great, so universally meaningful. And just this past week, Harry shared a scientific proof of his, that is how he phrased it, for believing in yourself. In Harry's words, and I wrote this down because I really liked it, self-doubt is unscientific. Fear is mathematically unsound. Anything can happen. We as humans are not omniscient beings, and so the idea of confidently declaring in a world where anything can happen what will not happen, it is not logical. It does not check out. As somebody once said, go watch his video, I recommend it, I know so little that I don't even know how to fail. As some of you may know, I have kind of talked about my thoughts on delusion, confidence in general, my opposition to doubt already. An old video of mine, Does Anything Matter Yet? My concluding thoughts there were really that no, nothing matters, because we were still at a point in the season, an action phase, where it was and still is every player, coach, fan's duty to be as irrationally confident and optimistic in themselves and in their team as humanly possible. That was kind of the logical conclusion that I came to about the meaning of early season football. And so, of course, Harry extending this argument about the importance of this mentality beyond sports, as I too like to try to do, well, yeah, it resonated with me a lot on Sunday. Because as these games bumped me, shook me, collided with me, as games do, as external things do, I could not help but notice that the coffee that I spilled here, I thought it looked nice. I thought it looked meaningful, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to kind of share it. These coffee blots here, they mean something to me. Man. And this meaning here to me, I think, stems from the fact that on Sunday, I realized that when you look for it, doubt is everywhere. It's everywhere that people are. Don't ask me why. Maybe that's a subject for another video. I suppose it ties into irrational confidence for some people, doubting others. But yeah, that specifically, doubt of others is everywhere when you look for it. And I think that one of my favorite parts of football, as someone who might be kind of notoriously Captain Hindsight, Captain Positivity, I feel like that's kind of how I would argue my content tends to go. To me, the really beautiful thing is that yes, doubt exists everywhere that people do, but doubt is also constantly disproved, I think. In the game of football, like I said, that's one of the reasons I love it. And again, just beyond the game, the operation of team versus team football, into the realm of the individual here. Proof of the scientific necessity in self-belief is everywhere. And that is something that I really appreciate. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about the concept of a victory lap, and whether or not they are worth doing, what the actual point of them is, and asking myself when I feel the urge to do one, what I actually hope to accomplish. And the reason I was thinking about all of that is because on October 5th, the day that the Ravens lost to the Houston Texans 44-10 and fell to 1-4 on their season, I declared to an audience of about 60,000 all in all that I believed still that this team could make the playoffs even if they started 1-5. Now the funny thing is, me personally, I never really see the hot take-ness of a take like this, a take saying fundamentally that a team can do something. Recently I was making videos saying that the Cowboys can make the playoffs and that the Texans can make the playoffs. Somebody commented, you can't just say that every team can make the playoffs, and that kind of threw me off because like unless a team is eliminated, they always absolutely can. Can is not a controversial verb. I guess that's kind of to the point of this video. Anyways, upon giving this take, I quickly learned, I guess, that this was perceived as hot. I was told that I was delusional. Delusion. Look at the schedule, my ass. Someone said this has to be Harbaugh's burner. This is either the greatest called shot of all time or the greatest cope of all time. Lots of cope comments. And yet, here we are today. The date is November 24th again, and as I look at the standings, I do see the Ravens at the top. The Ravens are currently the favorites to win their division by Las Vegas, sports data hub capital of the world, the closest thing that we have to physics in the realm of team sports, scientists in the realm of team sports, like data analysis. Everyone now recognizes that not only can the Ravens still win the AFC North, but their potential energy here at this moment now, it also appears to be higher than every other team in their division. As I watched the Ravens win another game yesterday, we don't have to talk about whether or not it was convincing, but I just thought to myself, a thought that I've had before, thought that I've had this whole time, I will never understand claiming to be a fan of a team and choosing to not believe in them. That's illogical. That's not scientific. I mean, it's an oxymoron, right? By definition, a doubtful fan. Maybe your definition is different than mine, the end goal of your fandom, but I mean, yeah, what's that about? I did not think it was a hot take to say that the Ravens had potential. I think that that is a physical observation, an observation grounded in reality. They have, on record, statistically, the greatest, most efficient regular season quarterback of all time, and a number of other historically great performers. The energy, the power that we can quantify within that building, in that organization, it is powerful. It is high. If you didn't pause this video and watch Harry's video, that's something that Harry talked a lot about too. Spoiler, potentiality. Replacing the word uncertainty with potentiality. What do we observe? What energy can we quantify within something? I quantified a lot of energy within the Baltimore Ravens building, and look what happened. I saw this same thing with the Chiefs and the Colts on Sunday, and another game that I believe is great. I really appreciated the game. With Kansas City's season on the line, and a lot of people doubting in the power of the people in the building, they did what they do best, which is out-execute another team in a meaningful game. Important situations in a meaningful game. Yes, sure, Shane Steichen may have cost the Colts points and energy in terms of some of the decisions he made, but I thought this was an incredible Patrick Mahomes game. The Chiefs had more first downs yesterday against the Colts than any team in any game this season. They made some incredible plays when it mattered. They probably had more external doubts surrounding their franchise and their people prior to yesterday's game than at any point in any season of the Patrick Mahomes era prior, and yet look what happened. Look what they accomplished through the power of belief and the rejection of doubt. Again, like I said before, Las Vegas, I think, I'm just using that as the broad term for the collective operation that is sports line setting, sports predictions. Prior to this week, actually, I can't pull it up on the screen next to me, but I was told, it was communicated to me that the Chiefs were still favored by Vegas over any other team on a neutral field. That's what the computers were telling us. And maybe you think that's correct, maybe you think that's not, but the reason for that is because of the potential that still exists in this team. The potential energy that they have amassed through all of their years of experience and the talent that they have on their roster. Sure, maybe it's not as much as it once was. Maybe not as much of it is obviously quantifiable through physical stature, profile, athletes, but mentally, the mental energy that they have, the potential up there, it's second to none. And games like this remind us of that. Another great bump coffee spilling initiator that I experienced on Sunday was, of course, Shedeur Sanders, right? And the fact that he got his first career win. I understand why some people have problems with Shedeur. Maybe they disagree with the assessment of his potential. Trust me, I think that inaccurate assessment of potential is something that grinds my gears too. We all have players, teams, I suppose, that might madden us a little bit when we don't see what other people see. It makes us wonder, are we the ones in the wrong, the ones missing something, or are they? I think with Shedeur, some people might disagree with the assessment of potential and or not appreciate the reasons for his complete potential. The fact that from a younger age than other athletes, he might have had access to more resources, more networking resources. That creates envy in some people. And I mean, things also overlap here too, right? So some of this energy may feed into the people who improperly assess potential. There are some people who are giving crazy takes on Twitter. All of that aside, though, I don't like that I even have to really do a Shedeur disclaimer. I thought it was really inspiring seeing him win a game at the pro level. You can tell that he has confidence. He has supreme confidence. Some people call it arrogance. I think that arrogance, harmful confidence at the NFL level, only stems from occasions where confidence will harm other parts of the operation. I don't think Shedeur's doing that, though. I don't think he's harming the Browns' operations' chances of success. I think he helps, and I think he is doing as much as he can to help himself here, too. I really liked seeing him ball out. I thought it was really cool, especially because Shedeur is someone who has been very aware of the doubt that has existed around him, and he has not let it get to him. He continues to disprove it. I mean, that's what I really appreciate. That's what this video is about. I won't spend too much time on them just because you probably get the gist by now, but I think that the Bears were another incredible example of this from Sunday. It's why I'm wearing the sweatshirt. Ben Johnson, I love his locker room speeches. They're something that I look forward to weekly. And I love how in all of them, no matter how close the Bears game is, which Lord knows they have had some really close games this year, one thing Johnson often says at the start of these speeches of his, or it's a question, I guess, is he asks his team, was there ever any doubt? And they say no. There was never doubt. Because doubt is not logical. It plays no role here. And time after time after time, the most admirable teams in this sport are the ones who just have completely embraced that in every way. Which leads me to perhaps the most interesting team in football, then. All things considered, all coffee spill blots investigated, appreciated, all but one, I should say. I want to give my thoughts on JJ McCarthy to wrap this up. But before I do that, I would like to thank the reason that I am able to take time out of my day to share my thoughts with you, initiate this conversation. Here's where I'll do the quick ad break. As some of you may know, I moved to New York not that long ago, right before this football season began. I've loved being here, and one thing that I've really been meaning to do more of is to get out and just see events, right? I mean, I'm in the event capital of the world, arguably. I know there's so much that I can do, so much that I should do, and that's why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, concerts, sports, festivals, more. I mean, we've got the NFL, college football, the NBA, of course, is officially back. I can't show my phone because I'm recording on my phone, but I mean, the app is great too. SeatGeek has your back. They rate tickets 1 through 10, so you know when you have a good deal, look for the green dots. Green means good. Plus, every ticket of theirs is backed by their buyer guarantee. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You guys can use code Lawson, my last name, for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with my promo code Lawson. Make sure you click the link in the description. You can download the app and have it automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thanks again to SeatGeek for helping to make this video possible. Now back to it. Okay, so JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. The concluding subject of this video, and I suppose the best way to put it, if I learned anything from Harry Miller, is to say that this team might have the most potential energy of any team in football right now. The Vikings might. Because Harry, he was the one who said you swap that word uncertainty with the word potential, right? I don't know what the hell's going to happen with the Vikings. Do any of us? What are they going to do right now? Because if you didn't know, it is actually pretty dire. I mean, they have not been very powerful recently. They have been struggling to convert all of this potential energy into anything meaningful. And I think everybody understands that the reason for this has been the lack of power in their quarterback room, specifically with their starter, specifically JJ McCarthy, who now ranks 851st out of 852 quarterbacks in EPA per dropback among qualified passers since 2000. EPA is one of our best efficiency metrics, so it's not good. The question here, the real question about the Vikings that makes them so fascinating is we don't know what they should do, right? It's a really tricky situation to assess. What is the best path forward for them to take to make their operation as powerful as possible, their team? And does that path involve McCarthy now, later, never? A lot of important questions, and the season is only so long. We're in the midst of that season right now. If McCarthy keeps playing the way that he is playing, acting the way that he is acting, the consequences for this team could be quite weakening. I mean, they've got Justin Jefferson losing his mind, and that's not somebody you really want to leave. Now, first I need to make it clear, of course, I'm not Kevin O'Connell. I'm not Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. I'm not Brian Flores. They know better than we do, right? And we know that they are all high potential individuals. We have seen how competitive their teams have been for the past couple of seasons. We can talk about Sam Darnold and how much they might have messed that up all we want, whether or not they should have let him go, but it doesn't change the fact that outside of that one decision, they are in large part one of the highest potential combos, tandems in the NFL. We don't know what they're going to do, but if we operate under the assumption that our assessment of them, given all of the data that we have about their teams, their records, etc., is correct and that they are to be trusted, well then this really is just a riddle regarding McCarthy and whether or not he's worth hanging on to and starting beyond this year. Will McCarthy be the starter for the Vikings in the long run? I'm going to do the thing that I talked about earlier in this video. I'm going to give a take that is not hot at all, but maybe some people might find it hot if they're misinterpreting me. I think he absolutely can be. I have not lost faith in McCarthy. I really haven't. And that is because when I see JJ McCarthy play, I see a guy who is absolutely powerful enough to win in the NFL. I think that athletically, he clears that bar, maybe not as obviously as some other guys. He doesn't have the pure athletic power of, say, a Josh Allen, but I think he's fast enough. I think that his arm is strong enough. I know that's been a talking point recently. He has an issue with driving the ball. He has an issue with sometimes winding up too aggressively. I think those things can be solved. I don't think he lacks in athletic power, body power, and I know that he does not lack in terms of mental potential power. He's one of the most confident players in the league, at least early on he has been. I love that anecdote. This was like the moment that I became a supporter of him. Anecdote of him asking his teammates in the midst of their Week 1 Bears game, where else would you guys rather be right now? That was when they were struggling, when they were down. I don't doubt in this guy's ability to have confidence in himself. I believe in his self-confidence, and I see potential in his body again, so I won't rule him out. Right now, the real issue to me seems to be a lack of knowledge. I don't think McCarthy has full control over this system, and I think that other smarter people would tell you that too, like, say, JT O'Sullivan, the quarterback school. That's generally been his assessment as well. This is what McCarthy has been working on. He might be overthinking it right now. He's talking about rewiring neurological pathways. I mean, some of this stuff is bordering on alarming. You shouldn't actually have to change yourself in a, quote, very different way. These are things that McCarthy currently has to sort out. How off schedule, off course is he? But again, to me, the number one problem is just mental adjustment. I don't think he's there yet with this offense. I don't think he's comfortable in it, confident in his answers. He is pressured constantly because he holds the ball longer than essentially any other quarterback in the sport right now, outside of Caleb Williams. I think that this is something he can fix, and so I will believe in him to try and fix it. I just don't know if he's going to be able to fix it before next week, before the Vikings' next game, maybe not even before their next season. Things take time. So no, I'm not out on McCarthy. That's my flag that I am going to plant. But I also do think that the Vikings operation would be the most powerful if they go with somebody else right now. And so the question is who? My personal answer would be Jameis Winston. I think that he's probably the quarterback, the backup quarterback, the most attainable quarterback right now with the highest potential. I think that's somebody who could be the next Daniel Jones figure in football. I made a video on TikTok talking about that not long ago. I think Mac Jones is another one that these guys might trade for. I think that there are plenty of options, actually. Josh Rosening, JJ McCarthy, so to speak, and getting Kyler Murray in the building if the Cardinals don't want him. There's a lot of options. But the other flag that I will plant here, that again, it's not going to be revelatory, I'm sorry. There has been a common theme through this video. The other flag I'm planting is that I believe in these guys, Kwesi and in Kevin O'Connell. he says with his Bears sweatshirt on. I think they're going to make the right decision. Me personally, I think that decision will be somebody good like Mac, Kyler, or Jameis, but I don't know. And I do think that there is absolutely a world where JJ McCarthy comes back. And do you know why I say that? The real concluding point of this video. Do you know who plays football tonight? Bryce Young. I remember a time very similar to this where we talked about Bryce Young exactly this way. And now the Panthers are 6-5. Maybe they will lose tonight's game. Either way, though, they play the Bucs twice more this season. Baker Mayfield is now injured. The Panthers could be a playoff team this year with Bryce Young. And that is because of the radical self-belief that exists in their operation. The radical positivity. Brief Cowboys shout out here, but many people have been quick to point out that this is a Pete Carroll trait. Dave Canales, radical positivity. That's something that Jordan Rodrigue of The Athletic and NFL Daily has talked a lot about. That's something that's associated with Canales. That's also something I absolutely see in Brian Schottenheimer. I adore watching his post-game press conferences. He seems like a really great guy on this front as well. I mean, I'll throw them in here now. The Cowboys had an incredibly inspiring game on Sunday as well. They believed the entire time, too. And what did it get them? It got them a win. Radical self-belief is the overarching theme of this video, the underlying theme, I guess. Overarching and underlying, so I guess that means they meet in the middle, and that was just the theme all the way through. And the final point I want to make about it is that it is not radical. Self-belief is not. Self-belief is rational. That's the only thing that ultimately makes sense. Knowing yourself and believing that the things that you truly want for yourself, you will find a way to obtain. I mean, one final quote I will end this video with. St. Augustine, a quote from them, to be truly free is to have no choice. I think that we all have no choice but to believe in ourselves. That is the most rational thing that we can do. Maybe the only rational thing that we can do. And so do it. That's my final note for this video. Just do that. I think that's what my spilled coffee is telling me. And so that is the message that I suppose I will leave you with too. The point I will leave you with in this conversation. By all means, please tell me what you think about these thoughts. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you have, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving week. If you are American, if not, I hope you have a great week. I really appreciate being able to make these videos, share my thoughts, all of it. You can find me on TikTok, on Twitter, and of course, you will keep finding me on here as I keep having opportunities to make these videos. So, thank you once more, and see you soon, hopefully.